I think we have to start with the fact that in our society, we try to ignore that. We try to avoid it, to ignore it. We never speak about it. If somebody is talking about death, it becomes a problem. People get upset. It's kind of a taboo. It's like a big elephant in the middle of the room that people pretend they don't see, but actually, death is following us on every step, every moment in our life. Just like our shades, we have death following us everywhere. And we can fear it, we can try to escape it, to run away, to ignore it, but it is always there. On the other hand, if we can learn how to make friends with death, if we can make room in our heart for that thing, we may actually find out and realize that that is not our enemy, it's actually our friend. It is a big step. It's not easy. It takes a lot of introspection, but truly speaking, we can get to the point that that becomes something to look for. Not that we are trying to die. This is, of course, not the case, but death is no more our enemy, but it is a friend that is following us throughout life until ultimately we meet death in person when we leave this body. Uh, Fear is a big emotion in the life of all of us. And fear in general, if you look at it, is always about the unknown,
Mm-hmm.
always about the future. You never fear the past. You don't even fear the present. What is here is here. You are not afraid of. You are dealing with it, or you even try to avoid it. But you're because it is clear and it is right here. There is no fear. Fear is always about
Yeah.
the future. In our life, we are such creatures that we try to know everything, and then there is at the end of this road, which is called life,
Mm-hmm.
there is something which is called death, and nobody ever crossed it and came back. You know, the very definition of death is that end of life from which there is no return. There is something which is called near-death experience. People who have experienced um, some stopping of the functioning of the brain. Usually the heart stops to beat, and all the vital signs are going out and they are pronounced dead clinically. But then after some time, they are revived. Okay, this is called near-death experience. It is very common today, but it is not death. These people didn't really die. So we are still, we don't have anyone who actually died and came back. And that makes death as the ultimate unknown, you know. And different people have different beliefs. In yoga, also we find the belief of reincarnation and everything, but we have to be very clear. We are still talking about a belief, right? Because nobody came back. Even the wisest person didn't die and come back. Like, we don't know. People say we remember our past lives and all this. That's all very interesting and very valid, but still this ultimate wall of the unknown, something that you cross and you have no idea, is causing a lot of fear for people. And what happens is that people desperately try to find some solution.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ideas of faith are coming from such attempts to find solutions. And I don't say if it is right or not, because I have to say I don't know. Right? We have to be very honest. Even though yoga has its own philosophy and all this is philosophy. The truth is that I don't know. And I have to admit, first thing I have to admit, I don't know what is that, what is happening after, is there anything behind, if there's just a void, if it is the end of everything, I don't know. I have to admit it, and I can start my journey with that from this point. I don't know. Okay, and that recognition, I think, is very. You have mentioned the topic of pain, and pain is not a mystery. Pain is something we know about, we experience. All of us have experienced different degrees and different types of pain. And also, as you have mentioned, we often see a pain associated with the process of dying. Okay, people at the end of their life often experience a lot of pain, and people who lost a dear one, they experience pain over the person who died, right? So the whole process of death is associated with pain, and that in itself is bringing about anxiety, is bringing about fear. In this regard, I would say that it is good to recognize that no matter what is your concept or belief about that, that itself, not the process, but that itself is not really something that is should be associated with fear. Why? Or should not be associated with pain. Why? Because if you believe that death is the very end and there is nothing beyond, I am just this physical body and I am nothing more. And when this physical body falls apart, it's the end of it and there is nothing more. Well, in such a case, death is not a source. Once you are dead, there is no pain, there is no suffering, there is no any problem for the dead one, and therefore my own death is not, for me, is not an issue in that sense. Okay, no problem. For a person, if you believe in reincarnation, you're going to be reincarnated. If you create for yourself a better karma, and maybe we will say a few words about it later, then you are going to be better off. So no matter what approach you have regarding that thing which is called death, at least rationally, you can understand there is no place for fear. You have to realize it. So this, I think, can be helpful. Nevertheless, we see that people suffer a lot from this idea of death. Actually, in the yogic tradition, uh, the main text for yoga philosophy is called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And there, the author, Patanjali, is describing 5 causes for suffering. He says, if you look all the suffering in the world, it falls into 5 categories. In some cases, some of them involved together, but there are 5 main causes for suffering. And the last one is the fear of death. And he says it is even wise people find it very difficult to overcome the fear of death. Now, basically, according to the yogic understanding, our fear of death is coming out of our association with the physical body. In other words, we believe that this thing, which is the physical body, is who am I? This is what most people believe. If you ask a person, who are you? They will point to themselves, right? This is me. Which means I am this physical body. Now, if that is true, if I am this physical body, naturally, when this physical body ceases, I also see. You know, that's the meaning. When this physical body, if it is me, when it is gone, I am gone. Now, in yogic philosophy, we analyze this question. We ask, is it really so that I am this physical body? Let's analyze it. Let's find out. Let's figure out, is it true? And it's not too difficult to demonstrate that this is not the case. I am not the physical body. I am the consciousness, the awareness, which is the knower of the physical body, right? It is, if I look at my hand and I ask, okay, is this me? If this hand is myself, and I say, let's see who knows whom. I know the hand, right? I'm aware of this hand. Is this hand aware of me? Naturally, no, because this hand doesn't have any awareness.
Yeah.
If I know the hand and the hand doesn't know me, it cannot be the same thing. These are two different things. I am the knower and the hand is the known.
Yeah.
You see? So in this is one way that we use to demonstrate the difference between myself, which is the knower, which is the consciousness, the awareness, and the physical body. It is not the same. By modern science, that everything is coming from the brain, right? The brain is a machine, has these neurons and synapses between the neurons that is firing some electric charges, and somehow this process is generating what is called consciousness. And we don't agree, yogis don't agree with that. Brain doesn't create consciousness. Consciousness exists regardless of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
The brain allows consciousness to manifest in this, what we call in this plane, in this reality, but it is not equal, it is not the same. It's a little bit like the radio waves are not identical with the radio receiver. The brain is like the radio receiver that is translating these consciousness into what is called this plane, but it is different from the body. If we accept this understanding, then we can appreciate that yogis say that if I am not the physical body, then when the physical body is dead or destroyed, it doesn't mean that I am dead or destroyed. You see, I am not the physical body, and therefore I was not born when the physical body was born, and I will not die when the physical body dies. This identification is one of these causes for suffering. Because if I am the body, now every pain that is there in the body is my pain. And everything regarding the body, every problem associated with the body become my problem. It is like my car. You know, I have a car, and in the morning, I get into the car, I drive to my office, and when I get to the office, I turn off the car and I leave it. You know, I don't identify with the car. I don't think the car is who am I. It doesn't mean that I ignore the car, I don't destroy it, I don't get rid of it. The car is functional, is useful, is very helpful for me, but it doesn't mean that I am the car. In the same way, in regard to the body, yes, this body is very important. It has a function, it has a use. Yeah, I need to maintain it, I need to take care of it. Everything is true, but it doesn't mean that it is who am I. And when the time comes to, suppose I get so much attached to my car, I don't want to leave it, I will not be able to do anything.
Yeah, right.
When I develop this strong attachment to the body, I am attracting to myself all kinds of suffering, all kinds of issues and problems. This understanding can start to help us deal with that thing which is called the fear of death.